Let me guess, you are burned out, you are falling into slumps even when you don't want to. I was the same until I learned how to manage my time properly so I can actually get everything done and stay consistent. Literally, I cannot remember the last time that I fell into a slump. So here's how you can do. Let's get into it. The reason you fall into slumps, feeling constantly burned out, or cannot get anything done is because of these two causes. The first cause is that you're doing too much. The reason why you're constantly burned out and as a consequence fall into slumps, and suddenly you don't have the energy to do anything at all anymore. This is because you think that you are a robot that can actually get everything that you set on your to-do list every single day done. So this can look like you constantly pushing yourself to do more and more, constantly strive for more until you obviously reach a tipping point where you just explode. You feel exhausted. Well, that's not because you're lazy or incapable, but it's because you've been pushing yourself even when your body and mind were signaling to you to stop and just freaking rest. And there are some causes of this as to why you keep pushing yourself even when it's not good for you. First, you may want to try to prove something. Prove that you are the most productive person, and you doing this is just you tying your worth to productivity, to hard work, to being constantly busy all the time. And that's why you feel guilty to rest every time you feel exhausted and your body and mind is signaling to you to just stop. You don't, because resting for your mind equals being lazy, being unworthy to receive your goals, and I get it. A lot of people who are into self-development, productivity, all this stuff, and achieving their dream life, becoming their best selves, sometimes we can fall into this trap. And I, for a period of my life, fell into this trap, and now I got out of it because I realized that resting is my birthright. It does not define anything about me. It does not mean that I'm being lazy, but it signals the opposite. It means that I value and prioritize my mental health and sanity and my body. And it signals efficiency, because if I really want to achieve my dreams and become my best self and show up with good energy every single day, then I need to rest somehow at some point of the day. It's unrealistic going through life without resting. Resting is your birthright. It's something that you must do if you really want to keep showing up the next day to your goals to the fullest. Another reason other than wanting to prove yourself and tying productivity and discipline, hard work to your worth is that you may are escaping yourself from something. Sometimes all these people who seem so busy and hardworking their entire day may not look like what it seems. Sometimes people bury themselves with so many amount of things, work to do, just to bury themselves in there to avoid certain emotions, problems that they have. The same thing, you may are doing it by scrolling on your phone. It's the same thing for them, but they are using work to numb themselves and to avoid facing uncomfortable situations, emotions. Again, they burn themselves out by doing this and fell into slumps. And at the end of the day, they cannot get anything done the way they want to. So really you need to learn how to process your emotions. So one way again to solve this is by journaling. We talk a lot about journaling in this channel, but this is something that really has changed my life. I've been journaling for 4 years. It's something that have helped me in difficult times where I needed to vent, but I didn't know who to vent to. And it really helped me to clear my mind and being able to learn how to regulate my emotions. So these things were summing up the first cause of why you cannot get anything done and fall into slumps. So the second cause as to why you cannot get anything done, and obviously this is not just about the fact that you're pushing yourself to overwork yourself and as a result burn yourself out, like we've already discussed that in the first cause. This second cause is all about your phone. Okay, scrolling is something that is preventing you from getting everything you want done. In fact, your phone is making it even worse. Every time you get back from work, school, college, and you feel tired, obviously, majority of us, me included, automatically want to reach that phone, grab it, and immediately start scrolling, watching movies, entertaining ourselves. And it's not really our fault because our brain is seeking dopamine after a long, tiring, boring day. So in a way to soothe ourselves and, just make us feel happy again, is by scrolling, because scrolling is going to give us that huge boost of dopamine quickly. But this is not fixing the fact that you are tired. In fact, this is going to make it even worse, as I said. So now you're not only tired physically, mentally, but you are adding even more stimulation to your brain with all this content that you don't even remember. And now your brain, it feels even more tired. You don't even want to do your homework and cook meals anymore because all these things are too boring. Now your brain, after you have scrolled for hours and hours, doesn't want to do things that are going to give you less dopamine. So you're kind of fighting against your brain. So it's not really your fault, but it is your fault that you grabbed your phone in the first place. So you need to take responsibility for that. So what I did is to give myself 20 minutes, 5 minutes even, to just rest. Not grab my phone, like resist that urge to grab my phone and start immediately scrolling and just stare at the window, just sit on my chair for 20 minutes and do nothing. That is going to reset your energy, make you less overstimulated and tired from the day after school or work. If this sounds too much, too boring for you, then you can just go have a shower, meditate, journal, or even taking a little nap. That's how you're going to finally get things done in a sustainable way. And then after those 20 minutes of doing whatever else you want to do other than scrolling, you now have set your brain to its baseline. Now that you're super hyper bored, your brain wants to do something, and it wants to do something other than sitting around and doing nothing. That's how it's going to be easier for you to just start doing your homework, do your goals, go to the gym, whatever. That's how you finally get things done in a more sustainable way that works for your brain and body, that is going to actually work in the long run, and you're not going to fall into slumps anymore. If you want to stop wasting your evenings by again scrolling, then here are 3 habits that are going to end this cycle and help you get back your evenings. See you there, Dreamliner, or if not, then see you in the next one.